Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Thursday night Anam meditation program. And with all my heart and with all my love, I welcome you to our program tonight. This is a chanting night, so we get to do a lot more chanting, so I hope you can turn up your headphones or turn up your speakers and just chant along. And because of the power of mantra and the importance of that in transforming the mind and thus transforming our experience, we start the program with the opening mantras. The opening mantras are an invocation of our highest nature, and the whole reason for having satsang. Satsang is the gathering of the truth, and that sat, that which is true at all times and all places, is the infinite, the divine. You, that's yourself, and that's why we're also so grateful that you joined us this evening, because it's the gathering of the divine, the infinite. How many places can we do that? So we'll start with the opening mantras, and then we'll just sit for a few moments at the end to receive the fruit of mantra, which is the stillness, the openness, the spaciousness of awareness as the mind starts to sort of fade into the background. And we get to be just present with the luminous quality of consciousness that is the infinite, present, here, now. So here we'll begin. Shri Maa Kali Devi Ki Jai Gajananam Bhuta Ganari Sevitam Kalpita Jambo Palacharu Bhakshanam Umasutam Shokam Vinashakarakam Namami Vigneshwara Parapankajam Shri Ganeshayan Namaha Shri Ganeshayan Namaha Shri Ganeshayan Namaha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamandaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Maa Kali Devi Ki Jai. So once again, with all my heart, with all my love, I welcome you to our program tonight. It's a night to get into the sublime practice of chanting the names of the infinite, chanting the names of the divine. And that use of sacred sound and mantras, it's in all traditions. And so we're going to be drawing on that. In fact, one of the first chant that we're going to do comes off of this CD, and it has called the World Mantras, and you can get the CD or just download the recording. But this is a mantra, or a set of mantras, that really encapsulates how that divine sound and what it invokes in its many ways across traditions. So in this chant we have Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. I bow to the infinite, the auspicious one, this throb of Shiva, the auspicious one. Om Kali Ma, Kali Durga Namo Namah. That's Kali Durga, Kali, the Great Mother. Another form is the Maa Kali Yantra. So many forms to the Divine Mother, as well as Tara that we have depicted here. And then in the Buddhist tradition, we have Om Mani Padme Hum, hail to the jewel in the lotus. You'll see a lot of the Eastern mantras start with Om, because Om is the primal mantra. Om is the carrier of Shakti in its highest, purest sense. So it's often used as sort of an empowerment for the whole mantra. And then Om Tari Tum Soha, the great Red Tara mantra, Om Tari Tum Soha. And then going into Islam, La ilaha illallah, just that proclamation of the name of God, Allah, the One, right? And then from the sacred Hebrew Jewish tradition, Ein Od Milvado, Ein Od Milvado. It means there is nothing that is not God. There is nothing that is not God. Okay? That one truth resounds through all the traditions, because that's what the mystics of every tradition know. That's what you'll know as your own self, to enter into that state where that direct knowing is present. And chanting is a means for doing that. Then we get Kyrie eleison. That's an invocation of the Divine's boundless mercy. Right? And then Sancta Maria Mater Dei, the Holy Mother, Mother of God. Right? So we're both invoking sort of the divine masculine and the divine feminine through these different mantras, all as inflections, mirrors even, of what our true nature is. And, last week we were talking about Shankaracharya's teaching from Advaita Vedanta, which tends to be rather dry and kind of intellectual, a jnana yoga kind of approach. But he was talking about the importance of longing and cultivating longing. And it's that longing to know the divine, longing to merge with the divine, longing to know the beloved. That's what's referred to that. And so then you hear the great poet Saint Kabir say, on the path to merger with God, it's longing that does all the work. It's longing. And he said, look at me. I'm a slave of that longing. That's all that was there. The longing keeps us focused, keeps our attention, our energy focused. So mantra and the path of chanting, and in part that's also central to another branch of yoga called Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion. And that's often seen as, that's cultivating that longing, and that longing, that love, can cut right through the mind. In the moment, we can open up and have that experience of the expansive, living presence of the infinite as our own self, as everybody around us, as everything. That's both the power of the mantra and the power of love. In some ways, we are aware of how we're cultivating love for the divine, or love to seek that merger into the divine. So the ego mind's aware of its love. We're not so aware that these divine forms, mantra, is an emanation of the love of the infinite for all of its creation, for all beings. The mantra is an emanation of that love that reaches out and says, here, this is a thread of grace, a rope of grace. Take a hold of this, and I'll draw you back into your source. Back into myself. That's what the divine wants. That's the love of the divine for all its creation and all its creatures. So we're participating in this whole play because we're the divine, we're the separate one, we're the longing, we're the wishing we had more longing. We're all of it. All of it is there. And so by getting absorbed in the sounds of the chants and the mantras, we can start setting aside the ordinary mind more and more, so that it can dissolve in these sounds, which are vehicles of the infinite for going back into the infinite. So when we're doing the practices of chanting, it's also with that awareness. Hamsa, I am that. I am that one. Whatever the name is that's being used to invoke that one, that's the truth of what your highest nature is. I am that. I am that. And revel in that. So we're going to start with this chant of the world mantras. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Taritam Soha. Om Taritam Soha. Om Taritam Taritam Soha. Om Taritam Taritam Soha. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Ainon milvando. Ainon milvando. Ainon milvando. Ainon milvando. Kyrie eleison. Kyrie eleison. Kyrie eleison. Kyrie eleison. Sancta Maria. Sancta Maria. Mater Dei. Mater Dei. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Om Kali Ma. Om Mani Padme Hum. Taritam Taritam Soha La ilaha illallah La ilaha illallah La ilaha illallah La ilaha illallah Einod milvado Einod milvado Einod milvado Einod milvado Kyrie eleison Kyrie eleison Kyrie eleison Kyrie eleison Sancta Maria Sancta Maria Mater Dei Mater Dei Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Kali Durga Ma Om Kali Durga Ma Om Kali Durga Ma Om Kali Durga Ma Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Taritam Soha Om Taritam Soha Om Taritam Taritam Soha Om Taritam Taritam Soha La ilaha illallah La ilaha illallah La ilaha illallah La ilaha illallah Einod milvado Einod milvado Einod milvado Einod milvado Kyrie eleison Kyrie eleison Kyrie eleison Kyrie eleison Sancta Maria Sancta Maria Mater Dei Mater Dei Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Kali Durga Ma Om Kali Durga the stillness, the silence, the gift of mantra, the gift of the divine. So inviting. We just want to get lost in there. So the next chant that we're going to do is a chant to the infinite divine mother. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jagadambe Jai Jai Ma. Jagadambe means the goddess of the world, the universe. And so it's another name of Kali, Durga. So this infinite, boundless, divine feminine gives birth to all forms within our own being, holding them within her being in that loving embrace, all times, all places. They're always in that embrace. We're invoking the direct knowing of that so that we can then rest in that. You know, Shankaracharya, for all his dryness, he also said, you know, it's when you get to know that bliss, the bliss of the absolute, he called it, the bliss of Brahman, Brahmananda, right? He said, then you're free. You still live out whatever karmas that this life has attached to it, but now you're in constant awareness of those currents, of that blissful consciousness that illuminates everything, holds everything in its whole, in its loving presence. That's what we go for. And really, that's what the mantra is. So even if we're not in that state, if we can at least keep the mantras going throughout the day, throughout any time and place we can come back to that, then we're really infusing our consciousness, our mind, our body even, with these currents of that Shakti, that pure consciousness, that pure, loving, wise, knowing consciousness of the self. So that's all wrapped up in the power of mantra. So now we'll be doing Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Kali Durga Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Kali Durga Jai Ma. Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali Jagadambe Jai Ma. Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga Jagadambe Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Kali Durga Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Kali Durga Jai Ma. Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali Jagadambe Jai Ma. Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga Jagadambe Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Kali Durga Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali Jagadambe Jai Ma. Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga Jagadambe Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali Jagadambe Jai Ma. Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga Jagadambe Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali Jagadambe Jai Ma. Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga Jagadambe Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali, Om Mata Kali Jagadambe Jai Ma. Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga, Om Mata Durga Jagadambe Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe Kali Durga Jai Ma. Ma, 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 Ma. Every infant is born with that mantra on their lips. Ma, Ma. Every mother, an embodiment of that divine Shakti, the infinite mother. present in everyone. Ma, ma, ma. Bhajamana ma, ma, ma. Bhajamana means, oh my mind, sing. Ma, ma. Bhajamana ma, ma, ma. That's the next chant. Bhajamana ma, ma, ma. Ananandamayi Ma, ma. Oh blissful mother. Ma, ma. Impart that bliss to us. Awaken us to that. Our every cell, our every atom is throbbing with that. That's what we're capable of knowing. That's what she's endowed us with, that capacity. That's what we awake to through Kundalini Shakti, the power of mantra. Bhajamana ma, 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 ma. Bhajamana ma, 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 ma. Bhajamana ma. Ananandamayi Ma, ma. Ananandamayi Ma, ma. Ananandamayi Ma, ma. Ananandamayi Ma, ma. Bhajamana ma, 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 ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Bhajamana ma, 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 ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Bhajamana ma, 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 ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Bhajamana ma, 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 ma. Anandamayi Ma, ma. Ananandamayi Ma, Ananandamayi Ma, Ananandamayi Ma, Benjamin Ma, Benjamin Ma, Benjamin Ma, Benjamin Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Benjamin Ma, Benjamin Ma, Benjamin Ma, Benjamin Ma, Anandamayi Ma, How many wonderful ways to be able to call on the Great Mother. So this is another one. Om Tere, Tu Tere, Ture Soha. This is the great Tara mantra. Om Tere, Tu Tere, Ture Soha. We have tankas of her on either side here, some of her many forms. But she's the feminine face of the infinite, the boundlessly compassionate one, whose strength and quickness to respond to the needs of all beings. She hears the suffering, the cries of suffering of all beings, and moves to help relieve them from suffering. Om Tere, Tu Tere, Ture Soha. So as we chant that, we're bathing ourselves in that. But also, part of the power of chanting is we're putting that out into the universe. We're putting that out into this pain-stricken world. And the power of mantra also has an impact on our environment and our surroundings and others. So we chant not just for ourselves, but for the benefit of all beings, all creatures, great and small. So, Om Tere, Tu Tere, Ture Soha. We'll chant that now. And then afterwards, we'll just enter the stillness, the silence of meditation. If the mind moves, let it come back, back to the self, whether that's in the sound of Om Namah Shivaya or Om Kali Ma, Om Tere Tu Tere Tore Soha, Om Tere Tum Soha. So many ways to be able to be drenched in that infinite expanse of love of the divine. Om Tare Tu Tare Tore Soha, 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 Om Tare Tu Maa Kali Devi ki jai. We end with this prayer, and may all our practices truly benefit everyone, and may all beings know complete freedom from suffering. Namaste. So chanting, such a delightful way to take refuge in the divine. You know, this throb of the infinite takes so many beautiful forms. Mantras, yantras, tankas, all kinds of beautiful forms. You. So we're taking refuge in the truth of knowing and being able to really experience that in its fullness. And so mantra really helps to cut through the ways the mind has gotten caught in this identity, this feeling, this one thing or another, and bring us back, bring us home to the self, home to that boundless love, the boundless compassion, the boundless wisdom, the boundless joy, the unshakable equanimity. So we can walk that into the world. So we can bring that into our everyday lives, relationships we're in, work, home, family, everything. The infinite's there, all times and all places. So if we're attuned to that, if we're even just feeling it in the background, it begins to permeate our actions, our thoughts, our words, our ways of walking in this world. So keep coming back to that. Come back to yourself. Such a sublime way of doing it through mantra. So I want to thank you all for coming this evening and bringing your highest nature, and also bringing the power and strength of your commitment and practices to this evening and to the world. You know, doing practices in this age, in Kali Yuga, where the world is doing all kinds of other practices that are not uplifting, to hold steady, to be able to have that as a part of one's life and keep bringing that into the world. That's the hero's journey. That's why in the Eastern traditions, the great hero is the one who does that, who conquers the ordinary mind so that their highest nature can flow through them. So that's your journey, that's your practice, and so thank you for being one who has that kind of commitment to keep coming home to the self and living that into the world. And thank you for the many ways that you support Anamkara and sharing our e-newsletter and videos and everything like that. Once again, with all my heart, with all my love, I thank you for coming this evening. I look forward to seeing you next week.